Hi all, this is Once and Future Gamer, and welcome to another Pokemon challenge. This is number 30 to be precise. Last time we went for absolute torment as we tried to answer the question of whether or not I could beat Pokemon Fire Red with a single Makuhita. The less I'm saying about that, the better, but feel free to check it out if you haven't already done so. Today though, I'm going for a new generation and a new Pokemon game. Today, I answer the question of whether or not I can beat Pokemon Y with a single Litleo. Now about Litleo. Litleo is a normal slash fire type, a very early game Pokemon. It has a base stat total of 369. It is the only Pokemon today that has that base stat total, BT dubs. To put this into comparison with other Pokemon I've used in challenges, it is better than Growlithe or Meanfu, who are on 350. However, it is worse than Beedrill on 385, but not by much. We're more of a fast special attacker than anything else. Our worst stat is our regular attack. For the ability, it will either be Rivalry, Unnerve, or Moxie as the hidden ability. Out of those three, I'd probably take Unnerve as first choice. Moxie is good, but it isn't going to help us as we're mainly a special attacker. We are weak to fighting, which is one of the gym leader specialities. Rock, another one of the gym leader specialities. And water, one of the Elite Four specialities, plus ground, which many Pokemon teams do utilise for coverage. We resist bug, steel, fire, grass, ice and fairy, all of which have either gym leaders or Elite Four members using that type. Oh, and we're also immune to ghost, but I don't think that's really going to help us. In terms of moves, we get a lot of stab coverage. Flamethrower and Hyper Voice will probably be the moves I look to keep long term. We get plenty to fill in the void until then. Work Up could be useful for boosting attack. In terms of TMs, we get a lot of coverage. We get Solar Beam, we get Dig, we get Dark Pulse, we get Bulldoze, Wild Charge, which those are the ones that immediately spring to mind, and that's even before we cover the status moves. Sunny Day might be useful if I want to do a Solar Beam combo for powerful water types. The good thing about this game is the reusable TM system that was introduced in the previous generation. If you do enjoy what you see throughout, then don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. This challenge was suggested by Adam and there's a very specific reason that he wanted to see it. In terms of predictions, I don't know how this will go. The first gym, the Bug Gym, should be easy. The Rock and Fighting gyms might cause issues, but I'm sure we'll have enough of a level gap come then that we won't fear either Grant or Karina. I don't think we need to worry about any of the other gyms. Maybe Olympia with a Slowking could be troublesome, but I reckon we'll have enough coverage by then. Lysander's Mega Gyarados could be a problem. That was what Adam wanted to see. Gyarados pawning a little lion cub. Of the Elite Four, Seabold could be a problem, but again, I think we've got enough coverage to sort it out. Diantha, we'll see. I think that Mega Gardevoir could be a problem. We don't learn anything that'll be super effective against it, and so we'll probably have to try and brute force it. Just the rules then, because I forgot to do these last week, but they're on the screen throughout. In combat, I can only use Litleo. Ignoring the Mega Lucario thing, which I don't have a choice with. Other Pokemon will be needed for HMs, but unable to fight. Only held items and Pokeballs in battle, but I can heal outside of battle if I want to. Last of all, no glitches, exploits, or Pokemon Amie. That last one might make it too easy. There's a lot of story stuff at the start of Pokemon X and Y, and very little of it is particularly interesting, as the Scooby Gang chooses to give you a nickname and a Pokemon twist that we never saw coming before. These games are notorious for having 4 rivals, but still less rival fights were in Black and White 1. Just saying. Using the Universal Pokemon Randomizer, I replaced Fennekin with Litleo so that we can do the whole run with it. We get our Litleo and nickname her Nala. Comment if you get the reference. She has the lax nature, so increased defense and less special defense. That could be worrying going forward, especially in the late game, but we'll see. Also, we've got the ability that we didn't want in Rivalry. Anyway, there's a fight with Shauna and Chespin before we go too much further, but given Nala knows Ember, this isn't the sort of fight that lasts a particularly long time as we roast that thing's nuts over an open fire. We 2-hit it with Ember, thankfully. Shauna's Chespin is female, so we do 25% more damage to it thanks to our ability. Once this is out of the way, I decide to EV train Special Attack and Speed. If I want to train Special Attack EVs, Route 22 to the east of Santaloon City is the place to go, given there are Psyduck and Litleo there. For the Speed EVs, Pidgey and Fletchling aren't uncommon, plus there's a small chance of Pikachu in the Santaloon Forest. While I am grinding up on Route 22, I go through the process of catching Bunnelbys for the pickup ability. When we get the experience share, this is a great way to farm items. I grind up to level 20 on Psyduck and Litleo and then go after the Santaloon gym. I don't foresee any sort of problem with Viola. Her Surskit might be an issue because it's part water type, but once we land a crit Ember on it first term, that proves to not be an issue. Her Vivillon is only a moderately higher level, but we hit another crit Ember attack on it and it crashes to the ground, giving us the first badge. Let's move on. It's quite a while now until the second gym. Once that's out of the way, I head to Lumio City and there's the fight with Professor Sycamore. The rest of the Scooby Gang show up to observe and he even admits himself he's not that tough. This bodes well. Bulbasaur is easiest, it goes down to a single Ember attack. Squirtle then goes down to 2 headbutts, countering with a water gun attack that Nala shakes off very easily considering the level gap, before Charmander goes down to a headbutt and an Ember. That's him done for now, though we do fight him again later in the game. Normally, he does offer you a choice of Bulbasaur, Charmander or Squirtle, but something happened here, possibly as a consequence of me randomising the game, so instead there's a choice of Nidoran Male, Chimchar or Shinx. That's intriguing, I didn't know that could happen. Oh well. I picked Chimchar and he gives me the Charizard Mega Stone, which is an interesting idea. Doesn't matter which one I pick, I'm not using it. I only picked Chimchar because there might be some more HM usage out of it than the other two. There's 2 shady looking characters in a cafe before we can leave the city. I'm sure we'll never see either of them again. The ginger dude seems a bit odd. He says some potentially disturbing things, but I'm sure he's harmless enough. And well, given the last main series game had an actual movie studio in them, it's strange how we've never heard of this so-called huge movie star before. The next destination is Camphria Town, but on the way there, we have to fight Tierno in battle. He only has a Corphish, and we take it out with Headbutt and Ember, getting a flinch on the Cuttlefish in the process. That wasn't too bad. I've acquired the TM for Bulldoze too, purely for the next gym. It doesn't use our better attack stat, but unless we want to use fire attacks on a Rock and Dragon type, then we're going to have to suck it up. This starts a segment of the game that I truly hate, the section where you have to get the poker flute and all that. I'm going to skim over it lest I start swearing at the game. It's not hard per se, I just find it truly tedious. After we do that and head past the Battle Chateau, there's a double battle with Trevor and Tierno where we team up with Serena. They start with a Pikachu and a Corphish, but 2 uses of Bulldoze finish off Pikachu and weaken Corphish before it knocks Serena's Fletchling out. Nala seriously injures Slabebe with Ember before Serena's Frogadier takes the Fairy type out with Bubble and Nala finishes Corphish off with Headbutt. After that, we've got the whole Ambret Town, fossils and the like to get out of the way before we can get to the next gym in Solage City. In Glittering Cave, there's probably the best dressed evil team in Pokemon history that make their debut. I make it to Solage City and go after Grant. This could be one of the trickier gyms if I think about it. I do get trashed by the gym trainers a few times, and so I go to Grind, where I'm reminded of one of the new Gen 6 mechanics that I had genuinely forgotten about. If you don't evolve a Pokemon, it gets boosted experience past the point it's supposed to evolve, so once Nala passes level 35, she gets more experience for not evolving into Pyro. That's handy. I make a try on Grant at level 38. We take out Amora with 2 flamethrowers, but get paralysed by Thunder Wave in exchange and blasted with Aurora Beam, which isn't good. Versus Tyrant, it's an attritional battle where I hit it with Bulldoze attacks, but unfortunately they just do under half its health each time. It keeps stomping me, which isn't good, as in addition to paralysis, there's also the chance of it flinching me. I get close to knocking it out and he heals it before taking Nala down with Rock Tomb. Clearly I need to be a little stronger to make this easier. It's either that or pray for crits, which isn't a great game plan. I'll try again at level 41 and I head off to do some grinding north of the city. One of my Digger's Big Collection team does pick up a King's Rock, so I figure I might try that, see if I can get some flinches on Amora to stop the paralysis from Thunder Wave. The second time at a higher level goes a lot better. We still get paralysed and hit with Takedown from Amora, but hit it with 2 flamethrowers to take it out. Versus Tyrant, it uses both Bite and Stomp, but doesn't get a flinch on us before we 2-hit it with Bulldoze to take it out. The damage difference being massive compared to just a few levels earlier. Let's move on. I go through the route with the Stones towards Geosenge Town. This game has a really pretty map, I will be honest. We go through Reflecting Cave and into Shallow City, where we've got to battle Serena before we can do anything else really. Definitely before we can tackle the gym. The Mega Evolution Guru stuff, the guy with the most incredible eyebrows in history of, well, the entire world, let's be honest. The Serena fight isn't hard, but I go for a workup first, and her Meowstic puts up Light Screen, which crimps my tactics, so I use workup 3 more times, getting hit with 2 disarming voices which do minimal damage before I lay it out with bulldoze, which coincides with the light screen going down. Frogadier goes down to a single hyper voice before our Absol comes out last and I take it down with flamethrower. That was simple. Next is Karina. This gym has the potential to be tricky due to us being weak to fighting, but given the level advantage we're building, it might not be too bad. Maybe I'll crack one workup off before we start. I should be able to tank one hit. That one hit comes from Mean Foo. Hey, want to hear something about Mean Foo? This current video is my 30th Pokemon challenge. The second one I ever did, I took on Pokemon Black with a single Mean Foo. Great memories. Anyway, that one hit comes from Power Up Punch, and we burn it alive with Flamethrower before it grows too strong. Holucha also goes down to Flamethrower before Macho comes out next, and you guessed it, a crit Flamethrower burns it up, and we get the 3rd badge. Let's all ignore this next bit and pretend it doesn't happen, where I have to use Mega Lucario to fight Karina again, roughly 20 seconds after I fought her the last time. I don't have a choice in this, I wouldn't bother it if I could, but alas, the game won't let me progress until I do it. How ungrateful is that Lucario, by the way? It must have been happy with Karina at some point, it wouldn't have evolved if it wasn't, and now it just decides to wander off with some rando. I'd be pretty peeved off with it if I were her. I'd kick its rear end to the curb full stop if it was going to be pulling that kind of thing on me. Or at least I'd have a long look at myself. Maybe it'd be me saying I'd kick it to the curb if it was pulling that kind of thing on me that would make it want to leave. I digress. We're not using Mega Evolution anyway, even if I could Mega Evolve Nala. I've not mentioned it in the rules because it's a moot point. Moving on. When I get to Coumarine City, I have to fight Serena again outside the gym before she'll let me go in. I don't know exactly what she's trying to prove at this point, but I'll fight her, I guess. I get hit with quite a few priority moves in this battle. Meowstic lands Fake Out before I incinerate her with Flamethrower. Frogadier lands a Quick Attack before I wreck it with Hyper Voice. Last is Absol, who actually survives the Flamethrower and lands a Slash and Quick Attack before we finish it off. Interesting, but we got the result. We'll head on into the grass gym. Now then, Ramos. Do you really want to have a guess at how this one went? I don't want to sound overconfident, but I didn't even heal after the Serena fight and went fighting to the top of his tower. This one did have one hairy moment in it. Jumpluff went down to Flamethrower. Go-Goat, though, actually survived Flamethrower on red health and hit us with Bulldoze, which did quite a bit of damage. Knowing he was going to heal, I went for Workup, then knocked it out on the next turn with another Flamethrower, before Weeping Bell went down in the same fashion to the same move rather quickly. Before we can go back and do the electric gym in Lumio City, we've got to clear Team Flare out of the power plant, but I'm not going to dwell too much on this. Anyway, the electric gym and Clement time. This fight is an interesting one. Emolga takes a Flamethrower to the face and goes down before he brings out Magneton next, and the one thing it has that means I can't one-hit it is the Sturdy ability, and so I go for Flamethrower, hoping for the burn. Thankfully, it doesn't paralyse me and goes for Electric Terrain instead. Clement heals Magneton and I take it out with Hyper Voice and Flamethrower. Heliolisk is next, it survives Flamethrower and lands a Wicked Thunderbolt on Nala, dealing big damage before we take it out with a second Flamethrower. That could have been really nasty. On Route 14, there's another fight with Serena. I remember what happened last time and go for Workup while she puts Light Screen up. I go for some more Workups until her Meowstic starts spamming Psychic. I get hit by 2 of them, which isn't good. We take it out with 2 Bulldoze attacks. We're weak though, which isn't good. Absol gets taken down with Flamethrower, and last is Greninja, who goes for a Quick Attack but we one-hit it with Hyper Voice. That was closer than it had a right to be. We arrive in Lavere City and immediately head for the gym. We resist Fairy, so this shouldn't be that bad. We've got Valerie to face, and I'm feeling confident. Mawile is a one-hit with Flamethrower. Easy enough. We go for Mr. Mime with Flamethrower too. I was tempted to go for Hyper Voice, but I had a bad experience with that move earlier in the game against a Mr. Mime in Reflecting Cave when one of them had the soundproof ability. Anyway, Flamethrower does one-hit it. Sylveon tanks Flamethrower quite well, so I go for a couple of Bulldoze attacks to cripple it, while it counters with several Swift attacks to hammer into Nala before I finally finish it off with another Flamethrower. After that, there's the Pokeball Factory and the long road to the next gym in Anistar City. Before we can tackle the Psychic Gym, there's another rival fight with Serena. Actually, before that, there is one thing I can do in Anistar City. I can go get the Hidden Power TM and work out what type it is. Grass or electric would be super. Unfortunately, it's ice, which doesn't help. Mind you though, that might be useful for the Drasna fight later. The Serena fight is hard, spoiler alert. I taught Nala a new move for this fight, replacing Dig. Versus Meowstic, we get clattered with Fake Out before I use Sunny Day and then get hit with Psychic. We take Meowstic out with Flamethrower. Next is Greninja, and this is the reason I taught her Sunny Day. It has priority Water Shuriken, and so I use it to shield against the worst of the water damage before knocking it out with 2 Hyper Voices. Absol goes down to a single Flamethrower before Flareon is last. We get hit with a Bite and a Lava Plume, landing on 2 HP, but 3 Hyper Voice attacks take it out. That one was close. Olympia, the 7th gym leader, is probably the hardest in the region. Just my opinion. I really wish I could get the Dark Pulse TM before this fight, but I need Waterfall to do so. I have a really bad feeling about this fight, and then it actually happens. Sigilith goes down to a solo Flamethrower. Okay, that was handy. We do massive damage to Slowking with Hyper Voice, and it uses Yawn, but we do finish it off before it can start hammering us with super effective damage. Nala goes to sleep as Meowstic comes out. We get hit with a Fake Out, then we wake up and one-hit it with Flamethrower. I was predicting a hard fight there. Next is story stuff, and we've got a fight with Lysander. We one-hit his Mienfoo with a crit Flamethrower, and next he sends out his Gyarados. Hyper Voice does relatively little. It hits us with a crit Aqua Tail that wipes out all our HP by 5 single points. We do get another Hyper Voice off, but it's too little too late as another Aqua Tail knocks us out. And that's before the thing goes Mega. Okay, I've got a plan. I had this plan for the Mega Gyarados as we can't get Solar Beam until post Gym 8, but I guess now is as good a time as any to see how it works. I drop Dig and work up from my moveset and challenge him again. Versus Mienfoo, I put Sunny Day up, and thankfully it goes for Swords Dance so we take no damage. I take it out with Flamethrower. The moment Gyarados comes out, I go for Will-O-Wisp and burn it. That shuts its Aqua Tail down hard, so much so that it goes for Earthquake instead, which we tank quite well. I hit it with Flamethrower and Hyper Voice, and this combined with burn damage is enough to take it down. Murkrow is a one-hit with Flamethrower. Pyro comes out and we land Hyper Voice before it counters with the same move, but we finish it off with another Hyper Voice and win the fight. We have to fight him again soon, so I'm not resting on the laurels. It's back to Geosenge Town now and the route to Team Flare's secret lab. I plan to use the same strategy versus Lysander's Gyarados as previously, but it doesn't go to plan thanks to his newly evolved Mienshao hitting high jump kick for massive damage. We do manage to burn it and inflict massive damage with Hyper Voice, but it knocks us out with 2 Earthquakes. A retry later, and this time Mienshao goes for acrobatics rather than high jump kick when we set up Sunny Day, and we one-hit it with Flamethrower. I Will-O-Wisp Gyarados, and although it lands a flurry of Earthquakes, we shake them off and knock it out with 2 Hyper Voice attacks. Pyro goes down to the same number of Hyper Voice attacks, Nala taking one in exchange from her evolved form before Honchkrow is last. I hit it with Flamethrower and it survives, which isn't good because Honchkrow does have the capability of hitting hard. It goes for Night Slash, we survive and take it out with another Flamethrower. Round 2 of the series versus Ginger Steve Jobs is done, and it goes to me. I mean, if you think about it, he did make a communication device used by potentially millions of people. Well, I say millions, there's maybe 100 people in Kalos in this game, but if you watch the anime, obviously there was a lot more. We deal with Yveltal, and round 3 with Lysander is next, and I'm really not looking forward to this. This is when he brings out his big gun. I have to let Mienshao knock out Yveltal, unfortunately hooking Pokeballs at it until it finally knocks out the Dark and Flying type. It narrowly survives Flamethrower from Nala, but only uses Swords Dance. Pyro does big damage with Hyper Voice, but we knock it out with 2 of our own. Versus Honchkrow, I throw up Sunny Day, and we get hit with a crit Night Slash, which does big damage before we take it out with Flamethrower. Versus Mega Gyarados, we get taken out with 2 Earthquakes, despite burning it and landing a Hyper Voice. That's not good. It tanks our blows far better than it did priorly. I may need a few extra levels. I do a bit of grinding in the Ice Cave, since we've got the type advantage over most of the stuff there. I want to try this fight again at level 81. Sure, there's a few Haunter here, but they're not a problem. I knew Mega Gyarados would be an issue. It's kind of how this challenge came about, as I said at the start of the video. There's also a different item that I go get that I figure might make things a little more interesting for this fight. That item? It's an Eviolite. Mienshao goes down to Flamethrower. We take big damage from Pyro's Hyper Voice, but 2 hit it. Sunny Day and Flamethrower take out Honchkrow, but it lands a crit Night Slash. Of course it does. Will-O-Wisp burns Mega Gyarados, so that means it hits even less hard. And then it crits with Earthquake. Of course it does. We cut its health in half with Hyper Voice. It lands another Earthquake and we survive on 17 HP before taking it out with a second Hyper Voice. Meaning we've put paid to this flamboyant fellow. Over to Koraway Town next, and there is another fight with Professor Sycamore, which isn't exactly a scary prospect. Not when I put up Sunny Day versus Venusaur as a counter shield for his Blastoise, and then his Venusaur uses Worry Seed. Out of literally anything that he could have done, that was probably the dumbest, because his Pokemon are male. So now we do full damage to them rather than only 75%, thanks to not having the rivalry ability anymore. I 2-hit both Blastoise and Charizard with Hyper Voice. They land an Aqua Tail and a Flame Burst, respectively, but Nala takes them both like a champion. There's a series of rival fights before we can make it to Snowbell City. Shauna is easy, Gudra aside, as we take out Delcatty with Flamethrower. I taught Nala Hidden Power before this fight. We hit Gudra with it for meagre damage before it lands Earthquake, but a crit Hyper Voice takes it out. Chestnut tries to save itself with Spiky Shield, but to no avail. Next is Tierno. His Talonflame goes down to Hyper Voice. His Crawdont, up next, goes down to another Hyper Voice and finished by a Hidden Power before his Roserade comes out. I think you might be able to guess where this one's going as it goes down to Flamethrower. Trevor, the final fight, is a problem. He plays it quite well, to be fair to him. We don't quite one-hit Raichu with Flamethrower and it costs us as he goes for Nuzzle before being taken out by burn damage. Aerodactyl confuses us with Supersonic and then lamps us repeatedly with super effective Ancient Power attacks which soon mount up. Eventually we take it out with Hidden Power, but the damage has been done. Last is Florges, who 2-hits our remaining health with Moonblast thanks to Paralysis not letting us finish it off. That was annoying. Let's try this again. Fun fact here, we do have to do all 3 fights again, but I suppose it's good for the experience. The Trevor fight goes very, very similarly. Raichu survives Flamethrower, it gets burned and then uses Nuzzle on Nala for Paralysis before going down. The difference comes versus Aerodactyl, and it is lucky because somehow it misses Supersonic 3 times and we take it out with 2 Hidden Power attacks. Florges comes out last and we 2-hit it with Flamethrower. That's a relief. Let's move on and get that last badge. I like the gym puzzle in the final gym, but does anyone want to guess at how hard Wulfric will be? Abomasnow sets up Hail, but I get rid of that with Sunny Day. Probably unnecessary. I do get tagged with an Energy Ball attack, but I finish Abomasnow with Flamethrower. Avalugg comes out. Now if this was Hisuian Avalugg, it might be more of an issue. That one was part Rock type. This one melts very, very quickly under Flamethrower. Cryogonal, yeah, it goes down to Flamethrower as well, meaning we've got all 8 badges and can head to Victory Road. On the subject of Victory Road, here we've got the final Serena fight. This one goes fairly smoothly. I throw up the Sun versus Meowstic and get hit with Psychic before I knock it out with Flamethrower. Altaria is next, unfortunately, so I have to take it out with 2 Hyper Voice attacks, getting hit with Dragon Pulse. Greninja goes down to our newly taught Solar Beam. Next is Absol, who I do massive damage to with Flamethrower and go to finish it with the same move before she cheekily withdraws it and sends in Flareon, activating its Flash Fire ability. 2 Hyper Voice attacks take out Flareon. It only hits an insipid Lava Plume in exchange before Absol comes back out and goes down to Hyper Voice. She's done. By the time I get to the Pokemon League, Nala is level 95 and here are our stats. Got to say, I thought they'd be worse than this. Special attack and speed are the best. I worked on them after all. Defense is good thanks to our nature. I'm worried about that special defense though, even with the Eviolite buffing us. Comments on whether or not I can do this are welcome. Make your arguments for or against right now. So, just like in Gen 5, I can fight the Elite Four in any order, so I figure I might as well go for the 2 hardest, the Water and the Dragon ones first. I take on Seabold and throw up the Sun and get tagged by a crit Water Pulse from Clowitzer. Thankfully, it doesn't confuse us and we take it out with Solar Beam, before Gyarados is next. Solar Beam does about a quarter of its health. I hit it with a few attacks before he heals it, going for Dragon Dancers, and then when the sun fades, he outspeeds and lands a Waterfall that finishes off Nala. Change of plan then. I go try Wickstrom, the Steel-type trainer instead. We have a bit of trouble with Probopass, but otherwise it's a one-shot sweep. Klefki goes down with a single blow. Probopass, we get hit with 2 power gems versus, but given a regular flamethrower does slightly less than half its health, I summon the sun and take it out with an enhanced second flamethrower. Aegislash uses King's Shield to block a flamethrower, but the second one takes it out before Scizor goes down to flamethrower 2. That one was easy. I try Malva next. As a fire type trainer, I figure we might have an easy time here, and I'm right to be confident for the first 3 Pokemon. Pyro goes down to Hyper Voice. Torkoal also gets 1 hit by Hyper Voice. Talonflame gets 1 hit by Hyper Voice. There's a pattern developing here. Her last Pokemon is Chandelure. Crap. It could have Flash Fire as an ability. I looked later, it doesn't, but instead I free hit it with Solar Beam after it confuses us. That could have gone a lot worse. So, let's try Drasna then. This one could be simple, or it could be horrific. We'll have to see. Dragalge causes issues, surviving Hyper Voice and using Surf. She heals it, and I take it out with Flamethrower and Hyper Voice. When it comes to Druddigon, a single crit Hyper Voice takes it out before Altaria comes out next, and this is where it all goes wrong, as I hit it with Flamethrower, doubting Hyper Voice will take it out alone before she lands Sing and a flurry of Dragon Pulse attacks that leave Nala weak, even as we finish it off. Last is Noivern, who survives Hyper Voice on red health, and then we go down to a single attack. Drat, I thought we had her then. Still, we had some pretty bad luck, so we'll go again and see how it goes. Okay, so I've got a plan on how I'm going to do this. I'm going to raise my level to 100 and then I'm going to teach Nala Bulldoze ahead of Solar Beam. I'll beat Malva and Wickstrom, then I'll replace Bulldoze with Hidden Power for Drasna, and then I'll put Solar Beam back on for Seabold. That's the plan. PP carries over, so if you replace a move with 5 PP with a move with 30 PP, it'll still have 5 PP. Then I'll try to work out my moveset for the Ampher. Our level 100 stats aren't really too different from our level 95 ones, which makes sense if you think about it. I fight my way back to Drasna. This time goes greatly better. I still get hit with Surf from Dragalge, but knock it out with Flamethrower and Hyper Voice. Druddigon survives Hyper Voice and lands Revenge before I knock it out with 3 Hidden Powers, thanks to her using full restores on the red-headed beast. Altaria goes down to Ice-type Hidden Power, so we don't have a repeat of the last time there. Last up is Noivern, and once again, just like Altaria before it, it goes down to a single Ice-type Hidden Power. That's a relief. Now I've just got Seabold left to do, so let's go sort him out. I replace Hidden Power with Solar Beam and go back at him. I get the sun up and take Clowitzer down with Solar Beam despite getting hit with a Water Pulse. Gyarados comes out and I make the choice to go for the stab Hyper Voice, and it proves to be the right idea as we 2 hit it. It only goes to Dragon Dance in exchange. Barbaracle goes down to Solar Beam. Starmie comes out as the sun fades. I make the choice to put it back up. I'm not sure if Hyper Voice is going to knock it out, and it goes for Light Screen, surviving most of our moves as we try to knock it out, prompting Seabold to heal it over and over, but eventually we take it down. Just Diantha to go. Diantha does have 2 rather prominent weaknesses to her team. 5 of her 6 Pokemon are weak to either Fighting or Fairy, or both in the case of Tyrantrum. 3 of them are weak to Steel. Unfortunately, the only move of any of those types that we get access to is Rock Smash, and that's not something I'm going to build a strategy this is a Pokemon League champion around. Gudra and Mega Gardevoir are going to be problematic. I can see Tyrantrum being an issue too. It's going to hit us like a train if it lands a Head Smash. If I can Solar Beam Auroras, that shouldn't be too bad. I'll see how it goes, but I think I might end up having to use Double Team here. It's a very distinct possibility. We'll have to see. First attempt, it goes badly. We do take Hawlucha out with a Sunny Day powered Flamethrower, and we do inflict big damage on Tyrantrum, but unfortunately it takes us out with a crit Head Smash that does finish it off too. The second attempt we have, we go down to Gudra and its Focus Blast after dealing huge damage with Hyper Voice. I might have to go down the double team route after all that. We're not going to survive getting hit by these attacks, not across her whole team. Between fighting and rock moves, we're getting absolutely wrecked. The first time I try the double team strategy, I get 6 off versus Hawlucha, and then it hits a +6 super effective flying press, which doesn't immediately just knock Nala out, but probably ends her entire lineage as well. I make a few more tries at this strategy and go down to Gudra a few times. Note to self, do not try Solar Beam on Gudra, it has Sap Sipper. I try replacing Sunny Day rather than Hyper Voice with double team. Flamethrower just isn't capable of dealing enough damage to Gudra, even with the sun up. When we make our successful attempt on her, pretty much everything that could go right does, and the AI helps out massively too. We get our double teams up at the start of the fight before going on the offensive. It's a painstaking process, but it's got to be done. 5 versus Halucha before it goes down to Flamethrower. We put the 6 double team up versus Tyrantrum. Charging up Solar Beams different versus the Rock Dinosaur. We land 2 Solar Beams and leave it on red health twice, prompting her to heal it. I go for a Flamethrower to try and weaken it when she heals. I'm expecting it to happen. She doesn't use the full restore. Instead, she brings Gudra in early. The Flamethrower hits it and burns it. We hit it with a Hyper Voice and leave it on a sliver of health before that burn takes it out. Solar Beam and Flamethrower take out Tyrantrum. Aurorus is annoying because it puts up light screen as we're charging up Solar Beam. But eventually, 2 Solar Beams and a Flamethrower are enough to take it out. And coincidentally, Aurorus going down matches the end of the light screen. Gorgeist goes down to Flamethrower before we got Gardevoir who comes out. She immediately Mega Evolves it and we have to take it down with 2 Flamethrower attacks, getting hit with a Psychic in exchange, which we shrug off. With all that out of the way, we enter the Hall of Fame and get thrown a parade. Now that's how a Pokemon game should end. I suppose technically the game isn't quite over yet, because before we can have the credits roll, there's a fight with AZ as, in a grand change for the Pokemon games, the 10-year-old who saved the region ahead of the proper authorities, and I pretty much think that the league was probably collaborating with Lysander in this game, gets recognised for doing the right thing, and I get a medal. Well, it's about time. In this fight, Torkoal goes down to 2 Hyper Voices but lands a Stone Edge in retaliation. Sigilyph goes down to Flamethrower and Hyper Voice, landing a Psychic in exchange. His Golurk is last and we take it out with a single Flamethrower. And if that's not a sweet ending, I don't know what is, as the 8-foot tall man reunites with this tiny flower Pokemon. All's well that ends well. So, I really don't know how to assess this run. It wasn't the hardest one I've ever had. It did require a bit of tactical thinking, especially dealing with Lysander, and that's probably the sweetest type of victory. I enjoyed doing it, if I'm honest. Barring a few bits in these games, the Furfrou Chateau bit and the whole Lysander Labs section, I do like these 2 games. I think that they're fun, so it was nice to do a challenge in them. I'll look to do more in the future, I think. If you have enjoyed what you've seen here, then please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, all that kind of thing, because it keeps me going. It's pretty good for the YouTube algorithms. I have that on pretty good authority. Next week, I'm going back to Gen 1 as I answer the question of whether or not I can beat Pokemon Yellow with a single Psyduck. That one is sure to be interesting. If you do have any ideas for challenges going forward, I'm interested to hear them. They can be dropped via the comments section here, via my Twitter or my Discord. The links are in the description of this video, along with links to all the playlists of all the stuff that I've done. Pokemon X, by the way, it's something that I've got quite a lot of attachment to, because the first ever group of videos that I did on YouTube was a randomizer Nuzlocke for this game. So that does still exist there. It's still on there, but I like to think I've learned quite a lot since then. Check it out if you're interested, because there's some stuff on there that's well worth watching. Randomizer Pokemon games are always interesting to see, with all the sheer elements of stuff that could go wrong. So, yeah. We are almost out of time now. I wrote this while the credits were rolling in real time, so I guess all that I can do really is say that this has been Once and Future Gamer. The game has been Pokemon Y. The Pokemon has been Litleo. This has been my run on beating it. Thank you so very much for watching. Take care now and have a great day. Au revoir. Very apt that, since Kalos was based on France. I'll see you next time.